Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is a little poncho for I'm going to say this is for a 4T to a 6T toddler. Now my mannequin here, she fits into a 4T top, a 4 and 5T top. And it's got enough room, wiggle room in it to, I'd say, can go up to at least a 6T. But I'll give you guys the measurements and the width and all that in just a minute. And it's 2 panels. We sew together the top, and as I crawl across the floor, she's got a little bit of a cold shoulder to the top of the poncho right there. I can't move my poncho or my mannequin around because if I pick up her arms, they fall off. So I had to tuck it in just a tad, and then we used the ribbon to create just a little belt. But I think it's adorable. She likes it too. Alright, we're going to go through over everything we need. We'll be right back. Okay, let's go over what you're going to need for your poncho. So, I used 2 skeins of Lion Brand Yarns Baby Soft. This is a, let's see, this is a 3-weight, and it's 459 yards. I used 1 whole one, and maybe I'm going to round it up to 20 yards of a second one. Like, I did not use that much out of it. Even if that, maybe 10 yards. It was just enough to finish 4 rows, I think it was. But you're definitely going to need a 3-weight for this one. A 4-weight might be a little too thick because we want this to have a good drape off the shoulders. So if you look at the thumbnail and the picture at the beginning, you can see how it drapes off her shoulders. You're gonna need, like I said, 2 of these, a 6mm crochet hook, scissors. You're gonna need 2 stitch markers or scrap yarn. I'm sorry, not 2, 4. I lost my other 2. I don't remember where I set them at. You're gonna need 4 stitch markers and a needle to weave in your ends, and you're gonna want a bigger eyed needle, because we're going to use 7/8 of an inch wide ribbon. Now, you don't have to use that wide a ribbon. Honestly, that's what I had set next to me, so it's what I used. So you could go down a size, but it needs to be, your needle needs to be thick enough to fit your ribbon through, because that's what we're going to weave in and out around the poncho. Now, I want to talk to you about the measurements of the poncho. So I've got my little example, I'll say, example piece. So the way we work this, I'm just going to show you on here. The poncho measures 19 inches from shoulder to shoulder, and then some of it drapes down the shoulder, and then from neck down is 18.5. Now that's totally adjustable. You can adjust this. Let me find it in my pattern here. The mesh portion of the poncho, the stitch multiple is, I promise I have it in my pattern. That is right here. The stitch pattern for the mesh portion of the poncho is 8 plus 2. So if you want to work it wider, wider than 19 inches, you just add 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, and then 2. So there's that. And then if you want it to be longer, you just, for the mesh portion, you repeat the rows, which is 2 through 7. Repeat 2 through 7, 2 through 7, 2 through 7 to get a longer mesh portion. And then to get a longer solid double crochet portion, just do more rows of double crochet. It's simple as that. So there's that part. Now there is a little side note I need to talk about, because I mess up in the video. Granted, it's not a big one, it's a little mess up, but I do want to mention it now. So in the mesh portion, get to my portion of the pattern, the mesh on the poncho okay? Row 7. Here it is, row 7. We start off with, in the video I say, let me see. In the video, we work 2 double crochet at the beginning and then we go into the pattern, but that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 3. So that is wrong. We double crochet into the very first, okay? We double crochet into the next, into the next double, I should say, first double and the next double, and then we double crochet into the chain space, okay? So that is how row 7 should start, okay? And then to end it, we double crochet into the chain, double crochet into next double, and double crochet into the very last double crochet. Okay, so that sets us up for 3, because then when we start that repeat 2, the pattern is actually messed up. So whenever you're working the pattern, I tell you in the video, okay, here's what I meant when I said, you know, I messed up, this is what you need to do. So the beginning and the end is the only part of that row that's messed up. Instead of only a double crochet into the first doubles, I forgot to add that double into the chain space right next to it. So we went from 2 doubles to the 3, which that'll make sense whenever you work the pattern. Anyhow, yeah, okay, that is it. That is the only little side note I need to make. I'm gonna set that there, so if you guys want to write that down or pause the video or whatever you want to do, so you can remind yourself row 7 is messed up. That's it. So get your supplies together. Now, I thought that since this has to be a 3-weight, like you can't substitute unless you have a really thin 4. A really thin 4 would work for that, but I would stick with a 3. I would say, honestly, the perfect example for the size 3 that you're going to need is like a mandala, however you pronounce it. I don't care. It's that yarn. That is going to be the perfect example of the size 3 that you're going to need. And then, you know, working that with a 6mm hook gives us a good drape off those shoulders. And, all right, that's it, guys. I'm done yapping. Let's get started. Alright, to get started with our poncho, get a slip knot on your hook and get a chain of 66. So get that chain done and come back here, and we're going to go on with row 1. We're going to double crochet in the second chain from hook. So right there, we're going to work a double right in there. And then we're going to double crochet into the next 2 chains. 1 and 2. All right, now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to double crochet into the next 5. So we skip 3 into the next one is the first of our 5. Mess that one up. Oh, dang it, I did it again. There. Okay. Skip 3 into the next. We're going to start our set of 5 doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That first one got a little wonky on me. That's all right. Okay, so we did our set of 5. So now we chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 3 into the next. Start our next set of 5. So that's what we're going to repeat for the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the repeat is to chain 5, skip 3 chains, 5 double crochet. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, into the next, start our set of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 1, 2, 3 into the next, start our set of 5. So you guys go ahead and repeat that across, and I will meet you when we get to the end. 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. So repeat the 5 double and the chain 5, skip 3. I will meet you when we get to the end. Okay, I made it to the end, and I just worked my last set of 5, and I have 6 chains left. So to finish the row, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 3, and then work a double into the last 3 chains. One, 2, and 3. Okay, so that is the end of row 1, and we have 3 at the beginning, 3 at the end, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets of 5 doubles in the middle. Okay, now we're going to move on to row 2. We're going to chain 1 and turn, double crochet into that very first double we have right here. Oop. Okay, now we're going to double crochet into the next double. So we have 2 doubles. Sorry about that, I couldn't read my handwriting. Alright, so we worked 1 double in the first, a double in the second. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the next double, and into this chain 3 we're going to work 1 double just right into there, just like that. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip the first double, go into the next double with a double, and then we're going to double crochet into the next 2. So we have 1 into a double into the next, and into the next. So we made 5 double crochet from row 1. We took that down to 3. Okay, now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, come right in. We're going to skip that last into our chain space. We're going to work a double, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, come over. We're going to skip that first, and we're going to make 5 doubles down to 3. So we're going to skip the first, go into the second with 1, into the next for the second, and into the next for the third, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip the last, go right into that chain space with the double. So what we're doing there is making a space with nothing into 1, so we're going to build on this one. Alright, so chain 3, 2, 3, skip our first, we're going to take our 5 doubles down to 3, so double crochet in the second, the next, and the next, chain 1, 2, 3, and then a double into our chain space, chain 3, come over, skip the first, go into the second, and the next, and the next. Oh, dropped my hook. So this is what we should be looking like. I'll go ahead and finish this row with you guys. So we just worked our 3, chain 3, come down here and work our double into the chain, chain 3, come over, we're going to take 5 to 3, so we're going to skip the first, go into the next, and the next, and the next. For our 3, chain 3, skip the last, around our chain space, or our chain, we're going to work a double, chain 3, go into the second, 1, 2, and 3, chain 3, double crochet around that chain space, that chain, chain 3, take our 5 down to 3 by skipping the first, working into the next, and the next, and the next, chain 3, double crochet around our chain, chain 3, and we're going to skip the next double crochet and double crochet into the last 2 doubles. One, and turn the last one a little bit, 2. Alright, so that is the end of row 2. And this is what it should be looking like. Okay, so now to move on to row 3, we're going to start by chaining 1 and turn. Now we're going to double crochet into the very first double. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to take this 1 double up to 3 doubles. So we're going to double crochet around the chain right next to that double. Double crochet into the double, and then double crochet into this chain space right next to that double. So when you look at it, we're increasing from 1 double to 3. All right, now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to take what was 5 that went down to 3. Now we're going to take it down to 1, and we're going to double crochet right in that middle double, just like that. Chain 1, 2, 3. Make 1 into 3, so double right next to it, double into it, and double next to it. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to take 3 down to 1. Chain 3, take 1 up to 3, 1 next to it, 1 in it, and 1 next to it. Chain 1, 2, 3. So lay this out and let you see better. So we've took 5 down to 3, down to 1, and we're taking 1 up to 3. There. See it a little better. Excuse me. Okay, so now we're going to double crochet in the middle one to make that 1 double. Chain 3, 1 double up to 3, so we're going to double on the side, double in it, and double on the side. Chain 3, 3 down to 1, chain 3, 1 up to 3, so we double next to it, double in it, and next to it, chain 1, 2, 3, double in the middle one, 1, 2, 3, take our 1 up to 3, a double crochet on the side, double crochet in it, and double crochet on the side, chain 1, 2, 3, double crochet in the center one, chain 3, almost to the end of the row. Alright, we're going to take that 1 double up to 3 doubles, 1 on the side, 1 in it, and 1 on the other side, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, take 3 down to 1 by double crocheting in the middle, chain 3, take 1 up to 3, so double on the side, double in it, and double on the other side, chain 3, and then we'll skip this double and work 1 double crochet into the last double of row 3. Alright, and that is the end of row 3, and this is what we should be looking like. Alright, we're going to move on to row 4 by chaining 1 and turn. Alright, we are going to double crochet into that double, the very first double right here. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to take a set of 3 doubles up to 5 like we were here. So we're going to double around our chain space, double in each of the doubles, and then double around this chain space. So right in in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 around this chain space is going to make it 5, just like that. Alright, so now we've already got 1 here, so what we're going to do is just completely skip over it. So what we're doing is creating this space up here. So it's reversed. So all we're going to do is chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, come right across and make this 3 doubles into 5 like we did right here. So yarn over, come around that chain space, work 1 double, a double into the next 3, and a double around our chain right here. So that's our set of 3 came up to 5, and you see the blank space we created right here. Alright, so go ahead and repeat across what we did. Chain 5, take your 3 doubles up to 5. So double around this chain, double into each of the doubles, double around this chain. Chain 5, skip straight over, take your 3 doubles up to 5, and repeat that, and I will meet you guys at the end. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 4. I worked my last set of 3 up to 5. So now at the end of this one, we're only going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet into the last double. Which if we turn, we can see it right there. Okay, stop and let you guys see what we've got so far. This is what it should be looking like. And if it does start to kind of rainbow a little bit like this, don't worry about that. We're going to take care of that. Alright, so let's move on to row 5. We are going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to double crochet into that very first double again. Right in there. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And now if you look, you can kind of tell where we're going, right? So the most double crochets that our little diamonds are going to have are 5. Well, we've already got 5. So what we're going to do now is take it down to 3. So we chain 3, skip that first double, double into the 3, into the next, and the next 2. So we're going to skip the first, double into the next, and into the next 2. 1 and 2. See? Okay, so now you can kind of guess what we're going to do here, right? We're going to start a new one. So we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you leave that last double unworked, and then we're going to double right around this chain space. Chain 3, and we're back to where our set of 5 that we're taking down to 3. So skip the first, double crochet into the next 3. Oh, come on now. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're taking our blank space up to 1. Chain 3, 5 down to 3. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys finish this off camera, and I will meet you at the end of this row. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we'll be right back. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 5. I've already taken my 5 double here down to 3, and I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and come straight over and work a double into this, our very last double crochet right here. So if I turn it over, I can see my stitch right there and work a double. Alright, so that is the end of row 5, and we're going to move on to row 6. Alright, so we are going to chain 1 and turn. Alright, we are going to work a double right into this double, into our very first double. So we have 1 double. Now we're going to double crochet right next to it, around that chain, just like that. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now you can see what we're going to do, right? We're going to take that set of 3 doubles down to 1. So double crochet right in the middle one. And then we're going to chain 1, 2, and 3. Can you guys guess what we're going to do here? We're going to take 1 double up to 3. So we need to double around this chain, double into the double, double around this chain. 1, 2, and 3. See how we went from 1 to 3? And now we chain 3 and repeat that. Take 3 down to 1 by double crocheting in the center double. Chain 3, 1 up to 3, double crochet on one side, double crochet into the double, and double crochet on the other side. Chain 3, 3 doubles down to 1. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys finish this off camera. You can kind of see what you need to do by looking at your next set. Alright, so go ahead and finish that off camera, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, I've made it to the end. I've worked my 1 double, taken my 3 down to 1. I chained 3, and now we're going to work a double crochet around the chain right next to this last double. So basically what we're doing is making 1 double crochet 2. So there, and now double crochet into the last double. So if you turn it just a little, you can see the top of your stitch. And there we go. So that is the end of row 6. Alright, now we're going to go on to row 7. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Alright, so to start row 7, we're going to double crochet in our 2 doubles right here. Our very first one and the next one. And now we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if you can see, we just finished this diamond, right? We had our widest point, which is 5 doubles, took that 5 down to 3, 3 down to 1. Well, now we're going to come right across and skip it, just like this little area right here and right here. And then we're going to take our new diamond that we have going here from 1 to 3, 3 to 5, so that we double crochet around our chain right here, 1 double into each double, one double crochet around this chain makes our 3 to the 5, and then we chain 5 and then skip over this one. So this one's a pretty easy row. I'd say for the most part this whole little pattern is pretty simple. I mean, once you get the hang of it and you see where you are, you pretty much know what your next group of doubles is going to do. Either take it down or we're going to increase it. Okay, so there is our chain 5, skip across, work our 3 to 5. So we just repeat that. Chain 5, 3, 4, 5, come straight across and double around that chain, double into each of our 3 doubles, and then double into this chain, and there's our 5. Alright, so chain 5, 3, 4, 5, skip across and repeat. So I'm going to let you guys finish that. It's so cute. And come back here and we will move on. So I'm going to meet you at the end of the row. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm coming to the end of row 7. Worked my last 5 doubles, chain 5, come right around here, and I'm going to take my just double crochet into each of my 2 doubles right here. One, and then into the very last one. And there we go. That is rows 2 through 7. Alright, so to finish off this mesh portion of our poncho, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of homework, and all we're going to do is repeat row 2, 3, and 4. Alright? So here's row 1, which, I mean, we kind of already worked here with row 7. So all I need you to do is rewind the video and do row 2, 3, and 4. Okay? So get that done and come back here and we're going to move on to the next portion. Okay guys, I've just finished the repeat of row 2, 3, and 4. Side note, remember at the beginning of the video I mentioned how I did mess up on row 7. We should have had 3 double crochet at the beginning instead of just the 2. Sorry about that. It's been a... yeah. Alright, so we are done with the mesh portion of the little poncho. We will be blocking this part, but not yet. We're going to go ahead and work the panel for the poncho and then block it when we're done. Okay, so I'm going to call that the end of mesh rows. Now we're going to start solid rows. So I'm going to say row 1 of our solid row, chain 1, and we are going to turn. And we're going to double crochet into that very first double. There we go. And now into this chain 3, we're going to work 2 doubles. 1 and 2. Now we're going to double crochet into each of these doubles. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then into this chain 5 space, we're going to work 4 doubles. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1 double into each of these doubles, and then we're just going to repeat across. Each chain 5 space, we're only going to work 4 double crochets. We're going to space them out a little bit, but we'll get to that when we're done. So work 1 double in each double, 4 into your chain 5 space, 1 double into each double, 4 doubles or in your chain 5 space. Repeat that across, and I'm going to meet you guys at the end. Okay, I'm coming to the end. I've worked 1 double into each of my 5, and into this chain 3 space we're going to work 2 doubles, 1 and 2, and then double crochet into the very last double. But you're going to have to turn your work just a little, and there's that last stitch. There we go. So that is the end of row 1 of our solid mesh part. If you want to, you can go through there and try to straighten up those 4s. Alright, so now all we are going to do for row 2 and for the length of the rest of our solid portion of the poncho is chain 1 and turn and double crochet straight across. 1 double into each double all the way across. So you're going to double crochet all the way across here, double into your last double, chain 1, turn, and repeat it again. And you're going to repeat that and repeat that and repeat that for a total of 23 times. We're going to repeat row 2 23 times for a total of 24 rows plus row 1. So there's 25 rows right here. Alright, so go ahead and fasten off. So I'm going to chain 1, pull up a loop, make sure I got enough to weave in my ends, which I did not do right there. Fasten off. Okay, I'm going to get my ends weaved in, but I'm not going to weave this end in. I'm not going to weave that in because I don't want anything to stop me from blocking. I shouldn't say stop me, to hinder blocking the bottom of this. I forgot to take my rings off. Oops. Alright, while I'm weaving these ends in, I'm going to talk to you about what blocking is going to do. And I'm going to go ahead. Okay, so blocking the bottom, the mesh portion of our panel, is one, going to stretch out those chain spaces and make the fillet portion of it, like by fillet I mean solid portions on open portions. So like solid on mesh. It's going to make that solid portion stand out more, therefore you can see the design. And 2, the second reason for blocking is because I'm sure you noticed when you were working, I don't know why I keep setting my scissors so far away from me. I'm sure you noticed while you were working the single or the double crochet rows that your mesh portion is a little bit smaller than your double crochet portion. So what that's going to do is even this out nice and pretty. Alright, so I got that one. I got one more to go. And before we block, I'm going to show you the difference, because with this poncho pattern, you need 2 panels. So everything we just made, you're going to make another one of, and then we're going to stitch them together across the top. Now, if you want your poncho to be longer, all you have to do is repeat rows for your mesh portion. Repeat rows 2 through 7, 2 through 7, 2 through 7 for as long as you want to. And you can, make this part longer too if you want. Now the mesh portion, I cannot remember if I went the wrong way. If I gave you the stitch count for the mesh, but if you give me just a second, I can look that up real quick for you guys. I have to get my book. I'm going to go get it real quick. Okay. So I have wrote down in my pattern notes here that the stitch multiple for the mesh, get that turned around, sorry guys, I bumped the camera, is 8 plus 2. So 8, 8, 8, 8, 8 plus 2. Okay, so get back. My notepad is, this thing. Okay. So, back to what we're doing. I wanted to show you the difference between not blocked and blocking. So, obviously, here is our panel that we have not blocked yet. That's what our mesh is going to look like. And then after we block, this is what our mesh should look like. See how it pops open those chain spaces, making the solid portion of the mesh pattern stand out, and you can see it. So like if I held it up, well, I'm gonna have to move the camera real quick. Okay, so if I hold up the panel that the mesh portion is blocked, you can see it still holds the open portion open, right? So you can still see how the solid portions of the mesh stand out. You can still see the shapes. Where when it's not blocked, it's a little all together with a huge hair. Alright, so now you guys can see what the blocking is going to do for our panel. So I'm going to get my blocks together, get my iron, get some water in it, get my pins, and then we're going to block. I'm going to block this with you guys. So I will be right back. Okay, are you filming? Alright, so I got my blocks out. I've got my panel laid out. My iron's heating up. And then I've got pads for my knees because it hurts. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're not going to block the double crochet part, right? But see the difference in the size from the mesh to the double crochet? So what we need to do is I'm going to start off by I'm going to hold it. Well, and I'm going to pull it to where it's even with the mesh. Now my little blocks here, I got from Amazon, link in the description box if you guys want to get you some. Now there, see how this is lined? Well, it's a little off, isn't it, sis?
A little bit.
Churchy, I'm going to really need you to move, sir.
You don't, ow! It's crawling back into my foot.
I got to move my iron, you guys. He's going to rub right up against that. Okay. Does this look level, sis?
From up here, yeah.
Okay. Alright, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my other side out. Even with this rows of double crochet. And then I'm just going to bring this bottom down. The bottom will not stay like that. It'll definitely try to curl back up. Not curl, but all right. So now it's square enough. I'm going to grab my iron. And I'm just going to block this. Now, with my iron, I can just tip it over and the steam is going to start coming out.
So kick her in the face.
Remember, do not set your iron on your work. Oh, that scared Churchy off. Good. I gotta take my glasses off. Now I don't have to worry about burning them on accident. Alright, now I'm gonna get the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to let this air dry. It's pretty wet. And then I'm going to take my pins out. Well, I can go ahead and take the pins out and show you now. See how it's not popping back? It stayed there. Now if you want, you can stretch this out farther. Just by moving your pins. See how nothing's popping back? Well, that did a little bit. Man, I really stuck those in there, didn't I?
Yeah.
Alright, I hit it again. Now I'm getting it close, but I'm not touching it. Just letting that steam shoot out in there. Alright, so I'm going to let this air dry for, I don't know, till it's dry. So I'm going to let it air dry for a while and we will come back and go on to the next step. Alright guys, I'm back. My panel is dry. I forgot to weave in my end. Do that real fast. So now what we are going to do is we are going to lay our two panels together, and we're going to sew a little bit across the top. We're not going to sew it shut because that is where the head is going to go. But what you can do, what you can do is put the panel up to the child that is going to be wearing it, and come in a little bit. I'm going to come in this far. I'll let you know in just a minute how many stitches that is, and then we're going to sew that together a little bit. So what I want to do first is take one panel and I want to lay it down with the last row of double crochet facing down. So the front of the doubles are to my table. And then my other panel, I want the last row of double crochets facing up. Just like this. Now we should have 74 double crochet across our solid portions. Okay. Okay. So now what we're going to do is lay your two panels the way I told you, the bottom one with the first double crochet facing the table and the top one with the first row of double crochets, or I'm sorry, the last row facing up. And then lay them together, and then what I want you guys to do is count in 22 double crochets, mark the 22nd on both sides, and then the same thing from this end. Count in 22, mark the 22nd through both. And this is going to be the neck hole, okay? And we're going to leave a tad bit open for what's called a cold shoulder. Just a little bit of the shoulder part will be open, and then we're going to sew in just a few on the end right here. All right, so count in 22, mark the 22nd on both panels. Okay. Okay, once you have that done, what we're going to do now is we're going to take this top panel and flip it over. Take these two, pick it up, and now our stitch markers are to the inside. Because what we're going to do is we're going to sew a little bit of this, and then when we flip it out, our seam is going to be to the inside, not the outside. Okay? So we are going to get some yarn. I am going to pull out, oh, I'd say about a foot. Pretty sure that is all we are going to need. Cut it. Get that on our hook. And now I'm going to start at the end here, and I am going to go through the loop on each stitch, on each panel, the back loop of each panel, okay? On each stitch. So I'm going into the first on that one, and the first, I can see it. It's a little wonky, but it's right there on this one. Pull through and leave a little bit of a tail for, work at that in. And I'm just going to come in, let's see, we're through the first, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to go 6. So I come through here, I'm going to go through the top, the back loops of the next 2 doubles. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that's all the farther I'm going to sew from the end up. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the same ones I did the opposite way, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold that loop up, take my needle right through that loop, pull tight to secure it, and then I'm just going to weave in that in later. So there's that. Now what I'm going to do is the same thing, starting from our stitch marker. So I got me another piece of yarn here. So I'm going to say, including the one we marked, 1, 2, 3, 4, we'll go 5. So I'm going to start on the 5th one instead of starting on the one that I have marked. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th one on this side too. Go into the back loops, pull through, leave enough tail to hide that end in. And now that was 1. Here is 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one. It's kind of wonky because of my stitch markers there. There's the back loop, there's the back loop, and 5. Now I'm going to do the same thing coming from the same direction, and then I'm going to hold my loop, run my needle through that loop, and pull tight, and I'll weave that in later. Alright, and there's that side. So now all you gotta do is repeat for the other side, and then when I flip it over, that seam is to the inside. Looks nice. Okay, so go ahead and do your other side, weave in your ends, and come back. So I'm a dork and just realized I forgot to show you guys how to fasten off the beginning of your sewing. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did at the other end. We're just going to go through both those back loops. Got stuck on a hangnail. Pull it through, leave a little bit of that loop up, take your needle right through that loop and pull it tight, and then we'll weave in that end. And the same thing for down here. Take our tail, and we're going to go right through those same 2 loops that we were worked into. Leave a little bit of a loop, run the needle through the loop, and pull tight. Okay, there you go. Sorry about that, guys. All right, now you can weave in your ends and finish this on the other side. Okay, I've gotten all my ends weaved in. Both sides of my panels are sewn together. So now I've got this laid out on my table, nice and neat and even. My seams are flat at the top. Slide it up. And now what I'm going to do, move some stuff out of the way, and get this right in the center on camera. Okay, so if we come in from the side, and I want you guys to put your finger on every set of 5 at the very top of our mesh. So basically what I'm doing is I've got on each side, and I'm going to go in, make sure I got this, on each, come in, and then the 2 in the center, and here is the very middle of our cardigan, or I mean poncho. So I'm just going to lay my crochet hook here. So there's the center of my poncho. Okay, so now I'm going to count. Here's row 1. Remember when we put the 4 doubles in that chain space? So there's row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to just take my little stitch marker here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just going to set that there. So I've got the center of my cardigan, and I want to come up 7 rows. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that piece of ribbon that we cut from the beginning of the video, and I cut a piece that's about, I'd say about a good 4 foot long. And the reason so long is because I want it to wrap around the body and yet still have plenty left to tie a bow in the ribbon. So what I did is I took my ribbon, folded it in half, and I don't like, run your finger across that fold to try to make it tight. I just want it to be loose. I got a bigger sized eye needle, eye by like the opening of your needle, not I as in the letter I. Put that on your needle. Okay. And what we're going to do, let's see. We are going to, in the center, we have our 7th row. I am going to, so like I have my hook laying here right on that center 4 double crochets. I'm going to come up to the 7th, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 double crochets over from my hook. It doesn't matter if you're off, 2 or 3. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of where to go. And I'm going to run my needle under 3 double crochets. And then I'm going to pull it through. Leave just a little bit of a tail so I can work with the rest of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over 3 double crochets. So we're under 3. Now I'm going to go over 3 and then come under 3. And I ran my hook through stitches. Come under 3. Pull that through. I did it again. What am I working through? I stretched something out. There. And you can straighten it out as you go. I don't mind how it's going to lay. Okay, so now I'm going to come over 3. Basically what we're doing is skip 3, go through the 3rd and the 4th, come out 1, 2, 3, skip 3, in, come out 3. One, 2, 3, go in, come out 3. And just by pulling on that, it's kind of coming out. All right, so now we have 1, 2, 3. There's 2 left. No big deal if you have more or less. All right, so now that's the front panel. So now I'm going to come to the back, and I'm going to count. There's row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So what I'm going to do now is rotate my work, still holding that 7th row, and I'm just going to start with the 3. I don't like that. I'm going to come back out. Let's see. I am going to come from the inside out. There, like that. Now I'm just going to flip everything and do my 3 in, 3 out, 3 in, 3 out, 3 in, 3 out, 3 in, 3 out across this back panel, and I will meet you guys when we come to the end of this back panel. So just keep going like we have been. Skip 3, go in, skip 3, come out. And like I said, you guys can adjust as you go. I might try to adjust a little bit, but that's all we're going to do. So keep working that around, and I will meet you guys when we get to this end. Okay, coming to the end. So I came out, skip 3, go in. Just so happens to have 3 left. All right. Tried to keep that as straight as I could as I went. All right, so now I'm going to come to the front and I'm going to find the 7th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Bring my pieces back. And I am going to find 7 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Skip 1, 2, 3, and come from the inside out. So my pieces are going to lay like that. Okay? Flip the poncho over. Okay. So skip 1, 2, 3 in, skip 3 out, skip 3 in, skip 3 out, skip 3 in, skip 3 out. Can't hold anymore. Pull it through. My ribbon twisted. It's all right. I noticed by pulling on it, it kind of corrects itself. All right, I'm gonna get my panel nice and laid out flat again. Okay, I'm gonna come a little bit closer to our beginning piece. So that's skip 3 in, skip 3 out, skip 3 in, skip 3 out. I'm gonna call that wide good. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stitches between. Pull that through. There we go. Okay. Now that does leave me quite a bit of tail, so I am going to try to straighten this out the best I can because I got more on one side than I do the other. Holy cow, too much. The best way to fix that is hold both ends together. So there. Okay, I'm gonna tie this in a little bow. I am no professional bow tire, guys. Alright, so I do have quite a bit of slack. So I am just going to cut, where's my scissors? I'm going to cut, let's see, I'd say that's about 5-6 inches off both sides at an angle. Now you can burn them. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to, you know, make it look funny. So I'm just going to let them fray. I'm alright with that. Okay. And there we go. I'm going to put this on my mannequin and I will be right back. Okay guys, here is the poncho. So my mannequin's arms, if I move them, the only way I can move them is up and down, and if I go too high they pop off. So I have that tucked in just a tad bit under her arms so you guys can see. Here is the little cold shoulder and her bow. I think it's cute. Now this mannequin fits into a size 4T Granimals top from Walmart. So I'm gonna call this a 4T-6T toddler poncho. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. This was fun to make. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't yet so you guys don't miss out from anything, and hit that notification bell and then click all so you get notified for all of my tutorials I put out. And check out the description box where I've got links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and my Etsy shop where I've got some of my patterns. I'm working on getting them all in there. It's hard to do all by yourself. And that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!